world of sports, eh?
Oh, he's copped a head right to the nuts. Tedesco's butt crack.
Ahoy!
He's nearly taken security's head off.
I have no idea what the wasted world of sports is.
Wasted World of Sports, ahoy! How is everybody doing? Welcome to Thursday night footy for the first time in a few weeks. It's been. Had a little bit of time off on Thursdays, of course, with the origin period and whatnot. Understandable, though, because it's very hard to get excited about what are essentially reserve grade teams. So it's good to see everything's back to normal here in rugby league land. And it should be a good game. Should be. Ahoy there, Mel. As Mel has rightfully pointed out, should be a decent match tonight. We can only hope. I'm refraining from having comment because every time I talk up a game, of course, it absolutely stinks. Michelle's in the chat. Ahoy, Michelle. Michelle knows all about us talking up games of footy and then them being absolute stinkers. Hometown music, the Vincent Spears. Ahoy. Battle of the Sea. I'm going to try my best, just because of copyright, if nothing else. I'm going to try my best to refrain from playing The Little Mermaid Under the Sea at any point throughout the duration of tonight. The only thing that would have made this even better, and the whole connection to Under the Sea, is if it was absolutely pissing down rain. Hang on, has it been Okay, yes. We have to wait 5 minutes before my bad language creeps in. That's the rule, apparently. The unwritten rule of the YouTube algorithm. 5 minutes into a video. Harley Waban says, go Sharkies and up the Sharkies. So that's like double the support, that. UFC OnlyFams has tipped the Dolphins, probably because he knows I would have tipped the Sharks, and he is still trying to catch up to me on the Wasted World of Sports tipping contest. Because I'm still on top, only just. I can tell you that I think it's Bryce. I believe it's Bryce who is nipping at my heels there. He's only 3 points behind. I was at one point upwards of 7 to 10 points ahead. Bryce has gone on an absolute rampage, and he is nipping at my heels there on the Wasted World of Sports tipping contest in second place. But anyway, speaking of tipping and whatnot, a same-game multi for tonight that I'm feeling particularly confident about, so there'll probably be 0 legs from it. Looking for the hammer. The hammer is just on a high at the moment. He's a try-scoring machine, isn't he? So he's always the first picked. If the Dolphins are playing or if Queensland's playing, the hammer is always the first one in my same-game multi. Whether I'm going for the team or not is irrelevant. He is a try-scoring machine in winning or losing efforts more often than not. Somebody who I used to tip religiously a couple of seasons ago, but has really fallen away this year, but he's starting to bring himself back into form, is the Sofa. Now, coincidentally, that they've moved him back into the forwards, which is what I've been saying, isn't it? For those who pay enough attention, I've been saying for about a year and a half to put Talakai back into the forwards. And look, they moved him back into the forwards, and he is having a barnstorming run at the moment. So he could pop up anywhere for a try, the Sofa. Lemu Elu for the Dolphins, anytime try. And, of course, Ronaldo Mulatalo over there on the wing. Wigan Latic, score prediction. Well, not a score prediction, just a game prediction. Dolphins are unpredictable. Well, yeah, the Dolphins are unpredictable. This is their first time playing in Sydney. Oh, yeah. Not ever. Their first time this year playing in Sydney. So it'll be interesting to see how they go with that. The last time that they were away, they went to New Zealand and they got absolutely flogged. So maybe they're hometown bullies. We'll have to wait and see, but I think the Sharks should get the win here. But that's what concerns me, especially as a Sharks supporter. The Sharks do not have a very good track record of winning games that they're expected to win. They'll pop up and they'll upset the Melbourne Storm in Melbourne, and they'll upset the Broncos every now and then. But a game like this that they probably should win at home, they have a tendency to come out and absolutely stink the joint out. But we'll see. I believe the Sharks should win, and should win quite comfortably. Comfortable meaning maybe like 10 to 12 points. I consider that a comfortable victory these days. Anything more than that's a little bit of a smashing. I'm not predicting a smashing, just a comfortable win. Anyways, something else to have a quick chat through before this game heads towards kickoff. We've still got a few minutes to have a nice little chat. 6 minutes to go till kickoff or thereabouts. So coming up on Sunday, the old Banther. Somebody put, it was Mel. Mel put Beanie for Brain Cancer around, which of course it is. It is, of course, Beanie for Brain Cancer around. I'm not just randomly ditching the bandana tonight and wearing a beanie. I also didn't think about it far enough ahead to get one of the official ones. So the old Panther is going to be in the house on Sunday for the Generations podcast. And what I'm considering that we're doing on Sunday is a little bit of a mid-season review. So mid-season awards. So I'm thinking, slowly but surely, I'm thinking perhaps we open it up to the chat room for some awards to give out. So we've got obvious ones like, surprise team of the year, for example, disappointment of the year, that sort of thing. Is there anything else that you might like the old Panther and I to discuss on Sunday? Nico Hines is back. Yes, sorry, Wigan. Vincent Spears, the hometown music, is absolutely correct. Nico Hines is back. Here, I'll raise an interesting statistic, right? The big wins this season, the two big wins, the ones that I really weren't expecting to win. So that's Melbourne in Melbourne and the Broncos in Suncorp. Here's an interesting little tidbit. Nico Hines did not play in either game. Nico Hines played in the other big game, which was against the Panthers, and we got flogged. Okay, it was against the Panthers, and most teams do get flogged against the Panthers, but I'm starting to notice a little bit of a trend, and it's not necessarily a good-looking trend for Nico. Look, I love Nico. He's the halfback for the team that I support, so I'm going to support him. But I just wonder if halfback is truly his best position. And were it not for Will Kennedy, I would not have hesitation suggesting Nico Hines probably should be a fullback. But we've got Will Kennedy, so don't really need Nico at the back. He's in an interesting spot at the moment, but obviously, look, Nico, when he was at the Melbourne Storm, he was a utility. He played fullback predominantly, but he was a little bit of a utility on the wing as well. So he played halfback in his juniors, but this is his first real run as a halfback at NRL level. I expect him to continue to develop. They say that the golden era for halfbacks are around 26, 27 years of age. That's when they really start to develop into their full potential. So there's plenty of time left for Nico to improve and become the player that he has the potential to become. I'm certainly not writing him off just yet, but I just wonder in the short term, maybe he should have come in as a fullback, because obviously the halves are pretty stacked at the moment for the Sharks. When we've got Atkinson, who came in, Atkinson is looking very ripe for the poaching for somebody who's in need of halves at the moment. I reckon the Knights have probably got their eye on him. The Tigers may have their eye on him if Lockie Galvin moves on like he wants to. So that could be a little bit of a problem. I would have kept Connor Tracy as well. I don't understand letting Connor Tracy go. Look at him. He is tearing it up for the Bulldogs, isn't he? Connor Tracy. So, yes, any topics for Sunday with the Old Panther, do feel free to let us know in the chat room, and I'll take note of them, and I can present them to the Old Panther tomorrow, and we'll be prepared for Sunday afternoon before the doubleheader. Hammer, they're wearing their beanies out there, some of the players. I'm not going to talk about suiting beanie or not. I'll let you decide that in the chat room, whether I do or not. But some of the players out there do not suit beanies. Hammer looks like a gigantic baby, just one with really rapid hair growth, especially in the facial region. Here we go. Let's get ready for this one. So we have locked it in. Sharks to win. That is the prediction. Sharks to win by 10 to 12. The Hammer, the Sofa, Lemuelu and Mulatalo, anytime try scorers. Let's go ahead and get ready for kickoff. Screen's supposed to be moving over right about now. All right, I'll do it myself. I'll do it manually. There we go. Michelle says, which came first, beanies for brain cancer or beanies for MND in the AFL? Don't really need. Not really sure on that one, Michelle, to be perfectly honest. And we are underway in this one. Sharks and the Dolphins, and the Sharks will have first use of it. That sort of sprung out of nowhere. Oh, now I've lost my team sheet again. And I'll be right back. Oh, that's right, my stream deck's not working. Why is the stream deck not working, hey? Bugger. This is going to make my life extremely difficult. This is a good first set of 6 from the Sharks, though. Braden Trindle gets the kick away. Dolphins with the ball back. James, ahoy! DJ Shaq, win with the answers. Fight MND has existed for a decade. So at least as at sporting level, the AFL concept predates its NRL contemporary. I also love the very political way DJ Shaq puts all these answers. Fifth and last, the Dolphins inside Sharks territory. Oh, Rod, enjoy, mate. He's at the sports bar, enjoying the game. As the Sharks have it back, 20 out from their own line. Both teams have completed their first sets. And they bring it out of territory now. Toby Rudolph, or is that Hamlin Uele? They both look the same now. Toby Rudolph should never have had his hair cut. McInnes. On to Kafusi. It's double Kafusi tonight. And the Sharks complete another set. The kick taken by the Hammer. 10 out from the Dolphins line. So both teams completing well early in this one. No mistakes at the moment, no line breaks. Well, there's the first chance of a mistake. The Dolphins offload, but they secure the ball. Malcolm says, I'm growing my beard like Dan. As the Dolphins get themselves into a very good position here, 40 out. The ball goes high from Katoa. There's a couple of Katoas as well. So we've got 2 Katoas and we've got 2 Kafusis out there tonight. Has that ever happened before? No, everything's playing up tonight, James. My stream deck is not working. Only half the chats are coming through. I think ever since I set this up, it's a really, really nice feature to have, obviously, the chat highlight, where I can just click on any of the chat room stuff and it puts it up on the screen. But it really does seem to have messed with everything since I put it in. Yes, we all heard me. James says, I love the beard trim. Oh, thank you. I like. Love was a little bit too much, was it? Michelle says, question, why does live chat auto-filter to top messages? Seems so dumb. Surely you want to see the whole chat. I have been telling YouTube this for the past 6 years. Thank you. Herbie Farnworth has got it for the Dolphins. They're 30 out from the Sharks line. Katoa chipping over the top. Thought he found some space, but Trendle races across. Feeds it off to Mulatalo. The inside ball now to Eero. Eero nearly scampers away. And the Sharks, a good kick return there. The Dolphins thought they found some space in behind, but apparently not. Hines puts the step on. He needs a big game, Nico. We were talking about this in the pregame. Borat. Oh, I see. I'm with you. A kick on tackle 4, turning the Dolphins around, but the hammer, he's too quick. And the Dolphins have it back. Bringing it out of territory, both teams completing well. Nicole Payne, ahoy. How are we doing? I feel like the chat room's all caught up now. Penalty to the Dolphins. That's the first one of the night. DJ Shaq says, what do you think of Felice Kafusi's hair? I'm going to be honest, I'm not a fan, but that's just my personal preference.
My name is James Randall. I'm 82 years old.
I think he just ran out of time.
My favorite food is a heartbreaker with cream.
I feel like he went to the hairdressers, started to get it done. Something happened, some sort of emergency scenario, and he had to dash off. He was going for the full head shave. Then that's just as far as they got, and he's just in between training and Origin and everything and games every week. He just hasn't had the chance to go back and get it done properly. That's what I'm thinking anyway. The Dolphins are definitely winning the territory battle at the moment as Farnworth skips on the outside of Hines. Hines with a weak attempted tackle, and Farnworth has nearly scooted straight through. The Dolphins are still on the attack, though. Nicarima throws a poor cutout pass. They keep it alive, though, and here on the opposite side of the field, they find themselves on the 5th and last. Nicarima puts it high, and moving forward to take it is Sione Katoa for the Sharks, and they survive that little scare. But Nico, once again, I hate to single him out, and I'm not meaning to single him out, but geez, he was found wanting in defense again there, Nico Hines. Richard Trainer, ahoy! 6 minutes straight before the penalty. Malcolm, Saturday we play our nemesis, the Storm. Yep, Warriors versus Storm Saturday. Oh, hey, buddy. You want to go on the camera, do you? Hey? Look at that. Nobody's seen you before. Hey? Nobody's seen you before. What's all the commotion out there, huh? This is Archie. Everyone. And of course, we all know this one. We all know this little fluff ball. Again, the Dolphins on the attack. Crossfield kick. Sione Katoa takes it and he's driven back into the end goal. And the Dolphins, they're on top here. In the early stages of this one. Yep, Falcor's got a winter coat. Whenever she gets her groom now, it's like, yeah, just don't take too much off. Short restart here for the Sharks. Malcolm says, who is the lady that hated the Storm since the 90s? That is the Metal Maiden. On the attack, now the Dolphins 10 metres out, looking for first points in this game, and it comes through. Max Plath, is it? It's been all the Dolphins to start this match, and this is what I was talking about in the pregame. The Sharks and games that they're expected to win, they make it very difficult on themselves. Some lazy defenders in midfield here for the Sharks. Look at that. 1, 2, 3. It takes. And still Bromwich gets the arms free and offloads. And Maxi Plath is over. Oh, you know what? I put Lemu Elu in the try-scoring multi. The forgotten man, Maxi Plath. Nicole Payne, you're wearing a beanie. Very nice. Getting into the spirit of things. Mel, the double dolphin. From right in front, a simple conversion here for the Dolphins to go up 6 points to 0. All right, I've got to try and fix a couple of things here. Find out why. Why is this not working? Johnny Sabin says, go Sharks. Or is that a dolphin? No, that looks like a shark. All right, there we go. I've fixed one thing.
Hello.
As the Sharks get this back underway. DJ Shaq says, I'm pretty sure I tipped the Sharks. I've never wanted to be more wrong in my life. Well, I hope you're wrong. As the Dolphins, they're set at 6 here after points. Up towards the halfway line they go. Fifth and last. Decent set. Katoa puts it high. Kennedy drops back. Takes it well. And the Sharkies have the ball. Approaching their own 20-metre line. Hamish, you love the weekend. What, the artist? The artist the weekend, or... And this is a spilt ball in the tackle. The Sharks contemplating a challenge here, but I think they might just have to cop that one. It's a little early to go blowing your challenge. It's a little too early for blowing anything in general, to be honest. Hamish McKenzie says no, the days. So your weekend starts now, Hamish. Very good. Clayton Dixon, ahoy there, mate. You tipped the Sharks, but your money is on the Dolphins. Through the hands from the scrum, it's tapped on, and Bostock finds some space out wide. The in and out move from Bostock, but they don't fall for it, the Sharks' defense, and they bring him down. They're just going from left to right at the moment, the Dolphins, and that's opening up the middle. As the Sharks' defense adjust, here's Kafusi, short ball to Bromwich. Bromwich is taken on tackle 3, a metre out from the Sharks' line. They stay left, Nikarima to the line, pops it up to Herbie Farnworth, and Herbie Farnworth goes over, and Will Kennedy just stands there shaking his head because the Sharks are once again getting torn to shreds by the Dolphins. I say once again because this is exactly what they did to them in Magic Round last season. Making it look very, very easy and extending the lead to 10 points to 0. We know the Sharks can come back from this deficit. As the try is confirmed, Herbie Farnworth was another one that I considered for my multi. And they're just doing it a little too easy at the moment, the Dolphins. This is the thing about the Sharks. It's what makes it makes them such a stressful team to support. They beat Melbourne in Melbourne. They beat the Broncos at Suncorp. Completely unexpected. And then they come out at home in a game that they, no offense to the Dolphins, that they probably should win, and they still might. There's plenty of time left. But they just stink the joint out as that conversion is successful from out wide. And the Dolphins lead 12 points to 0. All right, let's see if I fixed my Stream Deck. Stream Deck is not working for some reason tonight. Have all my buttons been remapped? Rod says Sharks need to get their shot together by finals. Is anyone old enough to remember the movie with the car Herbie? Of course. Well, I mean, of course, me. But they remade it, so everybody should be, really. I can't imagine there's anybody that exceedingly young in the chat room that isn't at least aware of the remake. Oh, it hasn't retrieved any of my scenes yet. What is going on here with my... It's always something. If it's not the audio, that's the chat room's being slow, or now the Stream Deck not working. Bloody hell. Sharks have the ball back here and they earn themselves a penalty. A much needed one of that here for the Sharks, because I don't think that they have been into Dolphins territory. Not once so far tonight. This will be their first adventure down there. All right, I'll worry about that at halftime. I'm far too distracted. I can do everything manually for now. Sharks off the back of that penalty now find themselves 30 metres out from the line. Rudolph offloads back to Brayley. Hines in midfield. Out to Nikora, who steps back infield and is caught 20 metres out. A chance for the Sharks to strike back. Tackle 4 with McInnes. 15 out in front of the post. Hines runs it to the line. Out the back to Trindle. Well read by the Dolphins. Fifth and last, they go short side. Hines to the sofa. And of course, the first time all season that I've picked the sofa in my same game multi. He is obviously going to have a shocking night tonight. Spills it cold as he goes into contact. And it's a 7-tackle set for the Dolphins. Already 35 out from their own line on tackle 1. So the Sharks, their first opportunity down the Dolphins' end, finishes with a mistake. And it's really got those feels about it. It's going to be one of those nights. One of those nights for Sharks fans that we're all too used to, I'm afraid. The Dolphins now sensing blood in the water. And they're 30 out from the Sharks line. Fifth and last, Katoa puts it high. Taken by Mulatalo. The Sharks hang on, but they are all the way back down their end of the field. Jam, ahoy mate. Well, it seems like the chat room's ticking along nicely now, at least. Sharks need more consistency to threaten a premiership, but they're very close. Rod, I said a couple of seasons ago, right here on the Wasted World of Sports, that somebody asked me if I thought the Sharks were premiership contenders. Pressure on Trindle, fifth and last. It's charged down, and it's almost intercepted by Mulatalo. That was a frantic little piece of play there. Fifth and last for the Sharks. They get up quickly on Trindle, charge the ball down. It falls for the Dolphins, and the Dolphins were one pass away from racing away upfield and scoring again. And there is a captain's challenge here for contact on the kicker. And the Sharks have now burnt their captain's challenge. They're not going to get the result, and their challenge is gone now for the rest of the night. For the Sharks, we're only a quarter of the way through this one. But the Sharks will already be thinking about halftime and getting one of those Fitzy halftime speeches. Whatever Fitzy said last week against the Broncos at halftime, he needs to say it again. Dolphins now spread it wide early in the tackle count. They're 30 out from the Sharks line on the attack again. Another offload. Max Plath in midfield to Nichols. They stay on this near side. Katoa to Nikorima. Gets Bostock one-on-one with Katoa, and he cuts back in field. He's over the line. Can he get it down? Yes, he can. And it's another try for the Dolphins. Bostock with too much power. Nicarima does extremely well to draw in the defenders. Gets Bostock into a one-on-one situation with the much smaller Sione Katoa. And he steps inside him with ease. That was really poor defense from Sione Katoa. And then two Sharks, Kennedy and Brayley, trying in vain to hold on as Bostock just reaches out and puts those big 14-foot tall limbs over the try line. $16 points to Zippo, kick to come. DJ Shack says, realistically, Dan, it shouldn't take a halftime spray to awake this team from its slumber. Hey, I didn't say it was a good thing, DJ Shack. I didn't say it's a good thing, but it's clearly a thing, isn't it? This could be a long old night for the Sharks. Dolphins doing it easy at the moment. The Sharks, I think, have only had one set of 6 inside Dolphins territory in the opening 22 minutes. It's really been a drubbing. As Asako pushes this one out to the right, and it doesn't hook around. And it stays 16 points to 0. Mel, Jesus Christ, look at the size of that message. That takes up a lot of screen real estate there. What have we got here? Mel says, I smell like a giant peppermint. Went to the spinal clinic today, and I swear my physiotherapist applied half a tub of anti-flame during the massage. Yes, I'm sleeping alone tonight. As the Sharks get us back underway. I'm not used to all this no buffering. I can't remember the last time I watched a game of footy without just constant buffering from KO. I could get used to this. It's nice. Penalty to the Dolphins now. That is the last thing that the Sharks needed to do from the restart, giving away a penalty and more territory now for the Dolphins. And once again, the curse has hit. Gaz, here's some Ahoy, mate. The curse strikes again. And another penalty to the Dolphins. Well, here's an opportunity to take the 2 and make up for that missed conversion if they want to. I would actually, as much as I'm an advocate for taking the 2, I would actually say plug it into the corner and keep the pressure on here, because the floodgates are probably only one try away from really opening up. $15 out from the line. Here is Bromwich. Marshall King to Nichols. Nichols well met by Brayley. But plenty of tackles up their sleeve here, the Dolphins. Katoa inside ball to Lemuelu. 5 out from the line. Tackle 3. Sharks defense holding on for now. Plath bobbles the ball. And that gives the Sharks an easy target on the 4th. Right-hand side, there's Katoa to Nicarima. Puts the kick in behind the Sharks' defense, and it sets up for Jake Cavarillo. And they're in again, the Dolphins, 20-0. Kick to come. Way too easy again. The Dolphins are just rumbling upfield and scoring at will. Oh, the look on Fitzy's face sums it all up. They just haven't showed up tonight. Rod says Nico is about to lose his origin spot if he doesn't lead his team to some sort of comeback to bring a close score, win or lose. Rod, in all honesty, I think Nico was losing his origin spot anyway. Because when you think about it, Nathan Cleary would have been the number 7, but Nathan Cleary got injured. Mitchell Moses would have been the number 7, but then he got injured. Nico was then third choice. If Nathan Cleary's fit, Nathan Cleary plays. I think that's no question about it. So therefore, I've always said, now that Mitch Moses is back, he's still ahead of Nico in the pecking order. So surely Moses comes back into the squad anyway. But you are absolutely right. If Nico Hines put on a performance that just couldn't be ignored in the lead up to game 2, then perhaps he keeps his spot. But in all honesty, I don't think he was getting picked anyway. With Mitch Moses back, Moses was always the understudy to Nathan Cleary. It just made sense to me that no matter what kind of form Nico was in, that Moses would just walk back into the squad. But who knows? I am not the State of Origin coach, so I don't know what he might have been thinking. That's just my 2 cents anyway. I don't think he ever really had the spot. But anyway, conversion successful, and the Dolphins lead this 22-0. Now, the positive in all this is there's still plenty of time. The negative, well, the negative is obvious. But there is still plenty of time left in this one. A kick from inside the 30 finds some space. And the chase is on. Sione Katoa goes back, makes a complete mess of it. Will Kennedy scoops it up and saves the day. Sione Katoa is honestly having a dead set shocker out there. And I've seen this happen before plenty of times. As a Shark supporter, when Sione Katoa is off his game, he is off. I would not be sending him back out there for the second half. Jack Williams is on the interchange bench. Jack Williams, he might be a little bit big and bulky now, Jack, but he used to play on the wing. I would send him out there. Sione Katoa is having one of those nightmare scenarios. And I've seen it before. They don't improve. When he is off, he is well off. There's no coming back from that for Sione Katoa. I don't expect to see him in the second half. But anyway, the Sharks get a penalty and they go upfield, 30 out from the Dolphins line. They made a complete mess of it last time they were at this end of the field. What can they come up with here? Iro takes it into contact on tackle 4. 20 out from the line. A couple of tackles left. Trindle runs across the face of the defence to Hines. The cutout pass to Ramian, who sends it on to Sione Katoa. And that's the 5th and last. 5 metres out. They get a set restart late in the tackle count. Here's a chance for the Sharks to do something, at least. As Hazelton, on the back of that set restart, just takes it in front of the post. Hines to the line. Crash ball for Royce Hunt. And Royce Hunt was a difference maker last week against the Broncos. And he has come straight on the field, burst through the defence, and puts the Sharks on the scoreboard here tonight. Big bad Royce Hunt. What a machine. 22 points to 4. Kick to come. And they are finally on the scoreboard, the home team. DJ Shack says Cody Nikorima has somehow taken 5 years off his game at the moment. He's playing out of his mind. He's had a really good year, hasn't he? Cody Nikorima. Oh, once again, the chat room is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 messages behind. All right, let's see if I can catch up. Geez, I really do love this feature of chat highlight, but I don't think I can realistically use it anymore. I can't be 15 messages behind every live stream. I mean, look at how salty James got earlier when he thought I was ignoring him. Now James knows me well enough to actually say something so that I could figure out that something was actually wrong. Imagine all the people that don't know me well enough that get salty and just leave. So it's really not good that it's doing this. I don't think I missed a whole lot, though, to be perfectly honest. It's all just related to what we were talking about. 22 points to 6. So salty. So salty, James. You were like the new Salt Bay. A big run again here from Cat Lego. Ahoy there. I am surprised why our message is not read. There you go. And a mistake. The Sharks have no captain's challenge. They have no challenges remaining. Not that they would have used it here, I don't suspect. Can't see what happened. So swipe. Ahoy there. So swipe, you got timed out from BKR Sports, so you're in here now. What did you do? Did you do something? Did you make fun of the Titans? I've heard you're not allowed to do that over there. Anyway, Dolphins with the ball back just when it looked like the Sharks were building some momentum to try and make some sort of fight back in this one. They go and make a mistake on the first set of 6 after points. And here are the Dolphins with a golden opportunity. Katoa to the Hammer. Hammer's been relatively quiet tonight. Watch him score next. Plath feeds it on now to Marshall King. The cutout pass. And Jesse Ramian gets a hand to it, but knocks it on. And all that is done has given away 6 more tackles now from the ensuing scrum. Sometimes you've just got to resist that urge, I think. It'd be very hard in the heat of the moment. You would see that ball just floating there. Oh, you did say something bad about the Titans. Okay. There you go. Yeah, that'll do it. So I hear Nicarima dummies goes through a gap. But there was an obstruction. And a penalty to the Sharks off the hook. Cat Lego, you got banned from BKR because you were laughing at the Titans. All right, over here on the Wasted World of Sports, I support the Sharks. And I know they're shit, so you can say whatever you want about them. As a matter of fact, I probably say the worst stuff about the Sharks than anybody else. Royce Hunt holds onto the ball this time, and the Sharks go over halfway. They get themselves a penalty. Take the 2. Gaz Hearsum says BKR versus Wasted World boxing match. I would do it. Hey, he's down the Gold Coast. I'm in Brisbane. We could do it for charity. I'd be raising money for Destiny Rescue. It's all a little bit of fun, of course. There's absolutely no ill. I mean, I didn't even know who the dude was until all these people started appearing in my chat room saying they got banned from over there, so they're here now. So, hey, if he wants to keep banning people and sending them my way, that's fine. Fifth and last here for the Sharks. Halftime approacheth. Brayley to Nickera. Nickera reaches out and slams it down. And the Sharks have scored again. 22 points to 10. The kick to come. The Sharks are starting to get a roll on, and this is absolutely incredible that there's been, 2 tries for the Sharks? 4 for the Dolphins, 6 tries in the first half. Not a single hit on my try scorer multi. Not a single drop on the multi. Game ML, ahoy! The James says Dan does shots for super chats. Well, he tries not to. Oh, James, look what you've done. Damn it. Gaz, here's some shot. Thank you so much, Gaz. Very much appreciated, mate. The James says he also does private chats for $50 and nude shows for $250 an hour. I mean, I pay you $250 for putting up with seeing me naked for an hour. That's what I mean. Sharks getting themselves back into this contest, approaching half-time. 3.5 minutes remaining. Hines now to Ramian. Ramian straightens. Fifth and last. Just into Dolphins territory. It's a good kick chase from Mulatalo. He pats it back down to Trindle. Fires it inside to Iro. Iro looks for the offload. It's gone forward and the Dolphins hang on. The Sharks, though, have just suddenly... It's taken them... What did it take them? About 30 minutes? But they have finally sprung to life in this game. And if they can go into half-time, only trailing by 10, they're going to have the breeze in the second half. Oh, the James, is that Ezra Mam Instagram meme? The kick over the top of Mulatalo is going to go dead. And the Sharks, with 2 minutes left on the clock until the break, will have a 7-tackle set here to try and go the length of the field. Knox shorts. Oh, they've spilt it on play 1. The Sharks have spilt it on play 1. Mulatalo cannot believe the call here, but they have no captain's challenge. They have got no captain's challenge, the Sharks. There was a 7-tackle set. They could have gone the distance. And they've gone and made a mistake on tackle 1. That is unbelievable. That is a real coach killer. If Fitzy had any hair left, it was all gone now. Guaranteed. From the scrum, here's the hammer. 20 out from the Sharks line. The Dolphins, who have been on the back foot for the past 8 minutes or so, they suddenly find themselves in a position where they can have last say in this first half. Here's Max Plath. Aiden Edits. Ahoy, mate. Yes, I remember Aiden Edits. Katoa with the short ball to Ewan Aitken. Tackle 4, looking for a set restart, not coming in. The cutout pass goes to the hammer, pops it up for Bostock. And Bostock this time draws a lot of defenders. 4 it takes to put him down and drive him backwards. 5th and last, Katoa puts the grubber kick in. Will Kennedy is perfectly positioned, and the Sharks survive. The Sharks will hold on till the halftime break. And considering the way they started this game, I would say 10 points. They'll be quite happy about that. DJ Shaq says, Dan, would you say this statement is accurate? The Sharks wingers, Mulatalo and Katoa, are letting their teammates down with their poor ball handling. Well, I mean, in this game, yes, definitely. David Tacona, thank you very much for joining the channel membership. Very much appreciate it, mate. Welcome to the stands, David Tacona. That's worth a shot, that is. Here on the Wasted World of Sports. Cheers, mate. Very much appreciate it. Oh, good Lord, what have I done? Anything? Are we still live? I feel like I might have just broken the entire stream. I accidentally put the bottle down on my keyboard. Who knows what I've done? Well, I was referring to actually the whole thing, James. I just meant that whole thing in general. I don't think there is specifically one with the real Ezra Mann, but the more that this conversation goes on, I'm starting to think there should be. Knox Shorts says, how good are the doggies? Indeed. Stephen Crichton, the missing piece, right? Stephen Crichton was the missing piece to unlocking the Bulldogs' potential. They could still use a halfback. I think they're not quite there yet. The Dogs, not quite. If they secure a gun half to join Matt Burton, forget about it. Premiers. Lock it in. They should take Jack Cole from the Panthers. I mean, why stop now? Why stop taking Panthers players now? One more won't hurt. Bring Jack Cole across. Even though he's a 6, I'm assuming. I'm making a lot of assumptions here that he can actually play 7. But yes, the Penrith Bulldogs are going extremely well this season. I had actually tipped Parramatta in that last game. I really had. But I've got to be honest, I picked I picked Parramatta based on the Origin backup. I thought that the Bulldogs might have been a little bit flat with so many players participating in Origin camp. If it were a regular weekend, I probably would have gone for the Bulldogs. But anyway, 22 points to 12 it is at halftime here. It looked like it was going to be a very long night for the Sharkies. And they got themselves back into this contest at the halftime break, only trailing by 10. Look, they obviously won't be happy with the fact that they leaked 22 points so easily, but they'll be extremely happy that they've hit back and are only going into the sheds trailing by 10. So Swipe says, who have you got versus Broncos versus Souths? I've gone for Souths. I reckon Souths are going to go on a little bit of a run. So Swipe, they're just starting to get it together, the Rabbitohs. Cameron Murray is going to be back. Cameron Murray's on the bench this week. So yeah, Cameron Murray's back. I reckon that the Rabbitohs are going to go on a little bit of a run. And the Broncos, I think they're in for a little bit of a shock this week. And the Broncos, they are teetering on the edge of the 8, aren't they? Knox Shorts. What team do I go for? I go for the Sharks. But it's okay. You can insult the Sharks here on the Wasted World of Sports. I do all the time. South did the same thing 2 years ago, Dan, says the James. Was it last year? Was it last year that they did like the opposite? And they were on top and then just sunk to the bottom? It seems whenever Souths are going really, really well, they just fall off a cliff. And when they're going really, really poorly, they lift and come home with a wet sail, as they say. Yeah, Rod, honestly, I still wouldn't have Latrell in Origin, personally. But that's, yeah, I mean, that's just me. Although I suppose Latrell, he does seem to lift for those bigger games, doesn't he? It seems to be just the regular grind, the week in, week out grind that he's uninterested in. Maybe Latrell could be on the bench. Put him on the bench, and then he can cover fullback and the centers. You've got Stephen Crichton, who can cover fullback and wing. If Matt Burton, oh, yeah, where would you put Birdo? I'll have to think about that a little bit more. I'm just not confident in Latrell's commitment for a full 80 minutes. And at Origin level, you need commitment for the full 80 minutes. So Swipe says, I reckon the Broncos will make a late run to get in 5 position. Yeah, look, the Broncos are definitely going to be in the finals. They are teetering on the edge of the... They're teetering on the edge of the 8 at the moment, but... they're almost guaranteed to still be in the finals. DJ Shaq says, who would you replace Swelly with? Then Dan, if not Mitchell at right centre. Like I said, DJ Shaq, I'll have to think about it a little bit more. I'll have to think about it. I can't just... Yeah. I can't just... Boom. I mean, Bradman Best is back from injury, I'm pretty sure. I mean, Bradman Best was my first pick. This is the thing for the Blues at the moment. For the Blues at the moment, a lot of positions they're sort of down to third or fourth choice, aren't they? Bradman Best was first choice if fit. So let's see. If Bradman Best is back, it's Bradman Best and Stephen Crichton who will be starting in the centres. Let me have a look. Sunday, Knights vs Panthers. Bradman Best is back. Okay, well, there you go. Bradman Best playing the Panthers on Sunday. It'll be a nice little test for him. So there you go. Look, Bradman Best, I think if he were fit before game one, it would have been Best and Crichton. Swally, he wouldn't have even been in the conversation if it weren't for the injuries. So there you go. The James says, I recall I said Bulldogs top 8, Dan. You laughed at me and you said 12th to 13th. I don't remember that, James, but I probably did because I've given up. I had given up on the Bulldogs. I had tipped the Bulldogs for top 8 for the past 3 years. And they've let me down. I had officially given up on them. Now they're finally living up to their potential. Sean Hewitt, ahoy there. From Timaru, New Zealand. DJ Shack says, I don't think Queensland should make any changes outside of maybe fullback, pending Reece Walsh's health.
There's a bomb in the glove box.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think you're probably right there, DJ Shack. Knox Shorts says Connor Tracy.
My wife.
So Swipe, I reckon we'll get to preliminary versus Roosters and get our revenge on them. Grand final, Storm versus Broncos. Wow. So Swipe, so you don't have the Panthers making the grand final this year. There's just something just doesn't seem right about the Panthers not being in the grand final. Hamish McKenzie is now getting requests. The server has a limit of 8. Who'd have thought, Hamish? After all this time, and Hamish has gone from...
The vehicle is no longer functional.
Hamish has gone from the guardian of the couch to now receiving soundboard requests on the Discord server. Amazing. What the hell? I'm a girl with a beard? I have to try and find those microphone settings again. That was such a nice, clean, crisp sounding microphone that I had set up back then.
I will drive. It is safer this way.
Wasted World of Sports. We'll let Hamish and the chat room have some fun there with the soundboard. I'm going to have myself a very quick break for half time. And we'll be back for the second half. Can the Sharks continue to mount this fight back in the second 40? We'll find out. Wasted World of Sports back right after this.
My name is James Randall. I'm 82 years old. And my favorite food is a heartbreaker with cream. Hello? There's a bomb in the glove box. I'm gonna fuck this house.
If I'm not supposed to fuck it, how come I can fit in it? Explain.
Oh, they're French.
Father has arrived.
Now for my favorite part. It's disguise time!
Hey guys, what's going on?
Boobies. I am ding-a-ling. All right?
All right, sorry about that. Second half is underway. I was getting Falcor her food. Alara was hungry and she needed her chicken.
Hello?
All right, we're all good now, Hamish. Second half is underway. Sharks have the ball. Fifth and last on halfway. Braden Trindle puts the kick in. $22 points to 12. They've got themselves back into this contest. And hopefully they've got a little bit of a kick up the pants from Fitzy. Hamish says, I am the entertainment. I shall remember to add more. As Marshall King finds some space out of dummy half. Good run there. Dolphins up towards halfway they go. Fifth and last. I'm glad that we saw some sort of fight back there in the first. That is a huge kick. Pressure on Katoa at the back. He takes it, links up with Kennedy, who almost goes straight through. Rod says anyone who enters the arena for any sport gets respect. Absolutely. I mean, you've got to think about... You think about the fitness levels. Like, it's a little bit different. Excuse me. Back when I played, fitness wasn't really a thing. I mean, look, you had guys like Fatty Vorton and Trevor Gilmeister, who was... look, Gilmeister was obviously a big, solid unit, but these are all blokes back in those days. Blocker Roach... They were far from what you would consider fit. They would probably be the first to acknowledge that as well. The game has just changed so much. The amount of dedication and effort that you have to put in just to get yourself into any sort of physical shape to play professional sports in this day and age is incredible, isn't it? UFC, did you actually tip the Raiders this week, or did you actually have the courage to actually tip them in round 15, or... You're going to cling to that one thing that I still haven't even got wrong yet, because there's still half the season to go. Penalty to the Sharks. Captain's challenge from the Dolphins. But at the moment, it stands a penalty to the Sharks. One thing I have to ask, is Bryce in the chat room? Wasted World of Sports tipping contest. Bryce, who is currently nipping at my heels in second place. Oh no, actually Rodney's in second place. Bryce is in third. Rod Eels. Is that you, Rod? Is that Rod? Rod Eels. No, because Rod's a Panthers supporter. This is a different Rod, I think. UFC. You wish, mate. You wish. The Dolphins have now burned their challenge and the Sharks go on the attack. Royce Hunt standing in the tackle 5 meters out. Keeping the ball alive. Kennedy to Ero to Mulatalo, who steps back in field. Gets a one-on-one with Jake Averillo. And he's over to score. Ronaldo, Mulatalo. And finally, we get a tick off the multi. There's been 44 tries scored. And finally, on try number 45, we get a tick off the multi. At last. Mulatalo redemption arc. Oh, there you go. Hey, Falcor smashed her food. Oh, there was a little kick there. I don't know if it was intentional or not. Very hard to gauge. If there was a cheeky little kick. He's fired up. No, James, KO. I'm done with it. I haven't had a single buffer all night long, and it's been fantastic. KO Sports sucks the big fat hairy ones. Let me just announce that live on chat. I don't even care. I don't think KO Sports was ever going to be a sponsor of ours anyway, so I don't care if I offend them. Terrible service. DJ Shack says that's cynical from Averillo. I agree, Dan. Can't use the leg like that. I just couldn't see on my camera angle. The top half of his body was cut off. So I don't know if it was just his leg sort of... the momentum of him falling back into the turf made his legs swing up in the way that they did. If I could see the upper half of his body and where he was looking, his awareness to the situation, but it did look like he lashed out with that boot. As the Dolphins get us back underway, after having a 22-0 lead, the Dolphins suddenly, they are only ahead by 4. Oh, there's a new version of Stream Deck available. That's why. All right, I'm going to see if I install this update, Stream Deck. Hopefully this won't kill the entire stream. But if I update Stream Deck, I'll see if that fixes it. $22 to 18. Oh God, I shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have risked it. Penalty to the Dolphins here for a high shot. 8.5 minutes gone in the second half, and the Sharks find themselves within striking distance on the scoreboard. Absolutely incredible. They were dead and buried at 22-0. Dolphins, though, have a chance to re-extend their lead. Okay, it's still not working. Michelle's, can I stream in July if I'm doing Dry July? Of course, it's not a prerequisite to be wasted on the Wasted World of Sports. I mean, the name is obviously just a fun little piss take of Wide World of Sports. As the Dolphins spill the ball, and Mulatalo has it. He races away upfield. The Hammer tracks him down but misses the tackle, and Mulatalo takes it up to the Sharks' 40-meter line. And now Katoa, I said, when he's having a bad game, and he nearly drops it again. I have a few drinks and watch the footy. It happens regardless. It's just it's a mere coincidence that the lifestyle happens to back up the channel name. The Sharks back in Dolphins territory. Hazleton goes on a good dart. Fifth and last. They're 15 out from the line. They stay on the short side. Hines out the back to Trindle. Cut out pass to Katoa. Katoa kicks it into Bostock. But this will be Dolphins ball. I don't think that was played at. You couldn't be upset about that decision. Bostock was just bracing himself for the tackle there. Certainly making no attempt to play at the ball. I do have one tick off the multi. What's a golden ticket, Michelle? I mean, do forgive my ignorance, but obviously I'm not someone who knows anything about Dry July. Apart from that it exists. Ah, so someone buys a pass. Doesn't that still kind of defeat the purpose of the whole thing? Are you only allowed one? Or could someone theoretically buy you a pass every weekend? Fifth and last, the Dolphins put the kick in. They try to pressure Will Kennedy, but he takes it well. You guess it's still money in the donation pot. Yeah, well, there you go. See, this is what I've always said. Because people have asked me before, like, oh, Dan, you should do Dry July. And I've always said, why don't I just donate to the charity and still... Through the hands go the Sharks. They've created an overlap. Heroes into space. Support inside from Will Kennedy. He tries to get away from the Hammer. He does. And scores the try in the corner. The Hammer was flying down the outside. He was always going to have too much pace for Will Kennedy. But Kennedy manages to put on the evasive action. And Kennedy scores in the corner, and we are all level here. $22 points all. And the Sharks will have a conversion attempt from out wide to take the lead, potentially. This is incredible. It's the second week in a row that the Sharks have fought back in the second half, but obviously this one's a lot more impressive. There was a lot further to fight back. From inside their own 30, they've almost gone length of the field. Big conversion here from Hines. 53 minutes gone. 10 in from touch. He strikes it well. It's hooking. It's hooking. It stays inside the far upright, and the Sharks lead this game. If you can believe it, the Sharks lead this game. 24 points to 22. Marius George says, go Sharks. Go Sharks. Go Sharks. What an unbelievable fight back. It must be said. What's happened to the Dolphins, more importantly? Geez, you expect the Sharks to go on with this. You really do. I'd be very disappointed if they didn't. Big run now from Jack Williams. So for Talakai, 30 out from the line. Hines now has sprung to life as well. Hazelton puts Hamlin Uele into a big gap, but an ankle tap from Herbie Farnworth brings him down. The Sharks are up over halfway though and charging forward. Forward pass there from Nico. And that lets them off the hook. The Sharks end up knocking it on further upfield anyway, but that was a big let-off. Rod says Sharkies with the offensive firepower, but will need to get their defense back on track for the finals. They need to play for the full 80, basically, is what it comes down to. Defense, obviously, is an issue for them, but okay, Michelle says a golden ticket is a night off, not just a drink. What do you mean a night off? Oh, so not just one drink. You can go mental. Is that what you're saying? It's not just a golden ticket to have one drink. It's a golden ticket to, like, stay out till 5 a.m. kind of territory. Yeah, so are you only allowed one of those, or can you have multiple? See, I don't understand it. I mean, look, give up drinking if you want. People are entitled to do it. I know many people who have done so. But honestly, all these things taken out in the air. There is Will Kennedy. Bostock is going to be off here. Bostock might be sitting down for 10 minutes. He has come flying through on the kick chase. And Will Kennedy has been collared and taken out in the air. He might be lucky to stay on here. Yeah, he's put his arms around the player in the air. He's fallen very awkwardly. Bostock has got this horribly wrong indeed. Well, very lucky to stay on the field, I think. We're not talking send-off, but we're definitely talking 10 in the bin. Penalty for the Sharks anyway. I feel like he's got away with that one, Bostock. Sharks now up towards halfway they go again. Oh no, I completely understand, Michelle. I'm just speaking personally when I say people try and get me to do these things. Like that ice. Remember when the ice bucket challenge was a thing as well? And I got nominated by Dougie Gillies nominated me for the ice bucket challenge, and I'm like, can I just give money to charity and not do the stupid video? I know that I'm no fun, but as the Hammer now scoots away, breaks upfield and the Hammer will score. Shut the gate. The Dolphins are back in the lead. Oh, wait. He does a goose step. The Hammer could have put the foot down and scored that with ease, but he decided to put on a little goose step to make it exhilarating for himself, I suppose. There was absolutely no need for him to do that, and the Hammer has gone the length of the field. It's another tick on the multi. What a kick return from the Dolphins, and then they reclaim the lead. The Hammer has gone the length of the field. Beats 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tackles. Gets on the outside of Kennedy. He could have just put the foot down and scored with ease, but he decides, no, come and have a go, mate. And beats the 7th. 7 tackles he's beaten on the way to the try line there, the Hammer. The second tick on the multi. And just when you thought they were dead and buried and the Sharks would go on with this, the Dolphins have hit back and reclaimed the lead. Jake Ponchi, ahoy mate. Hey Dan, I do need to sleep today, but I just want to say thanks for being one of my favorite YouTubers. Thank you, Dan. No, thank you, Jake. Cheers. (26-24). Asako's got this from right beside the posts to make it 28-24. The Dolphins, with a quarter of this game remaining, get themselves back out to a 4-point lead. DJ Shaq says, I cannot stress how badly the Dolphins needed that lucky break. It was a big moment in the game. Individual effort from the Hammer. They really, really did need that. Peter, ahoy there. Up the doggies. The Dolphins now. They've got a new lease of life here. Tackle 4, 40 meters out. Loco, ahoy there. Troy Parkey, ahoy. 5th and last on halfway. Dolphins put it high. Mulatalo's under it, takes it well, looks up. The defense is on him immediately. And it's only Will Kennedy back for the Sharks. And he is dragged backwards in the tackle. Suddenly, the Dolphins, after leading 22 points to 0, giving up the lead to the Sharks with 24 unanswered points, looked like they were gone. A runaway length of the field try from the Hammer. And the Dolphins are back on top here. 5th and last for the Sharks. They haven't even got close to the halfway line. Trindle from inside the 40. And it's taken by Asako at the back for the Dolphins, who find themselves, surprisingly, I really did think with 24 unanswered points, I thought the Sharks would just fly home here to end this game. The Hammer has single-handedly turned this game on its head once again. Tackle for Dolphins. 40 out from the Sharks line. Nikarima. Inside ball to Avarillo. Beats one, Avarillo. Running across field, though. And that's the 5th and last. 25 out from the Sharks line. They stay short side. Katoa puts pressure on Sione Katoa, who takes it well. But the Sharks have it 2 meters out from their own line. Kennedy from dummy half wrapped up. Waste of a tackle. This is now a huge set of 6. Running across field is Mulatalo. It's tackle 3 for the Sharks. They're still 5 meters out from their own line. This is a big, big set of 6 defensively for the Dolphins. 5th and last, and McInnes only just goes over the 20-meter line. A huge kick needed here from Hines. From inside the 20... Oh, he stepped outside the 20 and went back in. Just missed out on a 20-40 there, Nico. That was so close to the Sharks getting the ball back. Just a step outside. As the Dolphins now go back into Sharks territory. Peter asks, thoughts on Dogs making the grand final or the semi-final? Well, they're certainly proving that it's possible, aren't they? They're going extremely well at the moment. Doggies. Dolphins keep it alive. The offload to Bromwich. Bromwich looks to get the arms free. Tackle 4. They are just back on top here, the Dolphins. Katoa runs it to the line. Out the back to Nikarima. Nikarima cuts back in field. He's wrapped up. Another change of direction. And an obstruction there if he doesn't get caught and surrender. 5th and last. 10 out. They go short side. And the Sharks are awake to it. And that'll be a handover. But again, the Sharks a meter out from their own line to start this set. The Dolphins are just controlling the territory here. The Hammer has single-handedly turned this game on its head once again. And the Sharks, struggling to bring it out of their own territory, are looking a lot more like that team from the opening 15 minutes that just could not get their act together. Fabulous effort, really, from the Dolphins to just ride that wave that the Hammer created and get themselves back on top in this one. 5th and last, Sharks inside their own 40. It's high, it's straight down the throat of the Hammer, and this is not someone you want to be able to wind up in open space. "15 minutes to go. Dolphins on top. Max Plath out the back to Nikarima. The Dolphins get the arms free again. They've got to wrap up the offloads here, the Sharks. Bromwich. Straight up the middle. 5th and last. But again, quality field position here from the Dolphins. 30 out from the Sharks line. Katoa puts it high. Pressure on the Sharks at the back. It's lost backwards by the Dolphins. Forward from the Sharks, says the referee. And a penalty to the Dolphins. I'm not sure that was the correct call. But there is no captain's challenge. The Sharks burnt their challenge in the first half. I didn't think that Katoa even got to that ball. Interesting. Yeah, he did. He put his hands up straight away. And they're going to have a shot at 2 here, the Dolphins. Take the 2, open up a 6-point margin. And the Dolphins, they're well on top in this one. Again, they were on top to start. They had that huge drop-off in the middle of the game. And they've lifted again for the back end. "13 minutes remaining. Osako moves in. Puts it out wide to the right. A little too far wide out to the right. They get the ball back, though, the Dolphins, so it was worth a crack. 20-meter restart. Hines puts it deep. But they're still under pressure here, the Sharks. The Dolphins start this set on halfway. They're just not making errors, the Dolphins. They are finishing off this game extremely well. Kafusi. 30 out from the Sharks line. Katoa to Nikorima. Now the commentator's curse strikes again. Lemuelu spills the ball in contact for the Dolphins. Hey now, Peter, let's not be making fun. Lawn bowls is fantastic. I used to love watching the lawn bowls. I think it was on the ABC. Used to have the international lawn bowls on. Hines now, and now the Sharks spill it. Hines with the short pass to Nikora. And the Sharks have just completely fallen off a cliff here. The back end of this game, the start of the game and the back end of the game has been disgraceful here from the Sharks. They had a really fantastic period of play just before halftime and just after halftime. And they have been disgraceful around it. They were just handed a gift from the Dolphins. And they go and make a mistake straight back on tackle 1 or 2, whatever it was. Dolphins now with 10 minutes to go. They could put this game to bed with a solid set of 6 here and points at the back of it. Plath, dummies, goes on his own. They're 20 out from the line. Bromwich offloads back to Kafusi. The offloads are killing the Sharks here. Tackle 4, 10 meters out. Katoa to Lemuelu. He's just caught by the ankle. 5th and last. Nikorima. They've got space out to the left here. The ball goes high. Pressure on the Sharks. They've lost it backwards and a try for the Dolphins. The match winner. We need a lot to look at here, but that could be the match winner for the Dolphins. Bostock. I think everybody did their best to mess this one up. All right, the kick chasers are onside. Hines is escorted Bostock off the ball there, or Avarillo, I think that might be. So I think worst case scenario is the Dolphins will get the ball back, the escort from Nico Hines, who drops the shoulder in there. Yeah, catch you later, Game of Mel. Oh yeah, knock on there from the Dolphins. Well, anyway, the Dolphins have knocked it on. They can take the 2 here, though, and get a 6-point lead with 8 minutes to go. It is a gift 2-pointer. And Nico Hines, once again, you hate to single out players, but and tonight has certainly not been his fault by any stretch of the imagination. But you've got to say that once again, when the pressure's on, Nico Hines has come up with a play that has completely ruined it for his team. Mind you, if he doesn't do that, Avarillo probably catches the ball with ease, and it's 6 points instead of 2. So maybe it's a justified decision. Mel says, my older bro represented New Zealand indoor bowls a few years back. Still plays it now. That's fantastic. The old Panther loves these bowls. From right beside the post, an absolute gift, 2 points. But as I said, it probably saved 6. 30 points to 24 now. The Dolphins lead. And once again, the Sharks, the defense, has leaked 30 or more points. Multiple times over the last month, they've done this. Sharks get us back underway. Whoa, Katoa. Asako, sorry, nearly falls awkwardly from the kickoff, but the Dolphins have it. No penalties will be the name of the game here for the Sharks. They just need to get the ball back in some sort of decent field position. Tackle 3 for the Dolphins. Quick play the ball. Outside their 30 now. On tackle 4. Max Plath, 5th and last. Up to the 40. That was a good set of 6 defensively for the Sharks. Katoa puts it high down the middle of the field. They've let it bounce. Why would you let it bounce? The Sharks let the ball bounce. And Mulatalo now takes it in his own in goal, and the Sharks will start this set a metre out from their own try line. Why would you stand there and watch that ball bounce? Kennedy and Mulatalo, either one of them could have easily got to that on the full. Instead, they stand and watch it and let it bounce. Catch the ball on the full, on your 10-metre line, run it back to the 20 or 30 and start your set. Instead, they let it bounce. Mulatalo collects it inside his own in-goal area, and the Sharks start their set half a metre out from their own try line. And now it's the 5th and last, and they haven't even made it out to their 20. Disgraceful. Braden Trindle on the 5th and last, kicking from the Sharks' 10-metre line in front of the posts. And now Hammer finds some space. Almost gets away. And the Dolphins can set themselves up for a drop goal here if they want to. If they really want to. But this game turned on its head. The Hammer, a solo effort, running the length of the field to score a try. The game completely changed at that moment. It got all the momentum back for the Dolphins. And the Sharks just slowly but surely went downhill from there. 5th and last now, the Dolphins, 10 out from the Sharks line. Katoa, crossfield kick. Again, pressure on the Sharks. Mulatalo moves forward and takes it. But they are pinned down their own end. They really need a penalty. Desperately needing a penalty here, the Sharks. Talakai puts the head down. Still going. Talakai, good run. They need a little bit more of that. Hines to Trindle. Cut out pass to Ramian. Steps back in field. Beats one. Ramian now spills the ball out the back. That could be 6 again that they need. Not called. Quick play the ball. And they're up over halfway now on the 5th and last. Big kick needed here, but it goes to Hines. The chase from Mulatalo. No pressure at all on Asako. And that's easy ball for the Dolphins. They just have to not make any mistakes, basically, the Dolphins. Lemuelu from dummy half. 4 minutes to go. The best the Sharks can hope for now is Golden Point. They had this game in control. They wrestled it back. They had lost it early with the 22-point lead to the Dolphins. They had wrestled all momentum back. And they were well on top. And then the Hammer single-handedly beats 7 Sharks defenders to run length of the field and turn this game on its head. Three minutes remain. Sharks. They've got to go the length of the field. They've got to do a hammer. Tackle for Rudolph. Quick play the ball. Hines. The flat pass to Eero. 5th and last on halfway. Trindle. It's a high kick, but it's way too deep, and Hammer takes it on the full under no pressure. I understand what he was trying to do there. Trindle is thinking, with 2.5 minutes remaining, we need territory, but I think a much better option there was just kick the bugger as high as you can and try and force some sort of error. 2 minutes remaining. The Dolphins, they just need to get through this set as Herbie Farnworth breaks through almost. He's up to halfway. He's now trying to milk a crusher tackle. Not a crusher, a hip drop. He's trying to milk a hip drop here. DJ Shack says the Hammer saved the game for the Dolphins when they looked certain to fall. 100%. His length of the field effort sealed the deal. Beating 7 Sharks defenders. A couple of tackles left now for the Dolphins. Kafusi takes the 5th and last. Do they dare snap a 2-point drop goal? No, they don't. Katoa will just put it high. He'll do the sensible thing, Katoa. High to the corner, and Mulatalo takes it, and the Sharks will have one last opportunity here, and they've got to go 80 meters upfield. And still the best they can hope for is Golden Point. At this stage, can they force Golden Point, the Sharks? Trindle in at first receiver, out the back to Hines. Kennedy's up in the line. They're spreading it wide early. Nowhere to go, though. This Dolphins defense are not going to let this game slide. The ball back. Helter-skelter stuff here from the Sharks, but there's absolutely no forward momentum. Now Eero's wrapped up. Short side they go. Mulatalo's got no support. Kennedy back on the inside, 5th and last. This is it for the Sharks. 40 out from the Dolphins line. Hines to Trindle. They've got numbers out to the right now. Nikora goes through. Where's his support? On the outside. It is Sione Katoa who plants it down in the corner. And a conversion from the sideline from Nico Hines could tie this up and send us to golden point. Talk about a pressure scenario. From smack bang on the sideline on his unfavoured side for a right foot kicker. Nico Hines, we know he doesn't do well under pressure situations. What a pressure situation this is. The try is confirmed. What a moment this is for Nico Hines. Robert M asks if Hines has missed any tonight. No, I don't think he has. But then this is obviously the most difficult, not just in terms of the game situation, but the most difficult in terms of the position of the kick. I mean, this is now literally the last play of the game. He is on the sideline, the far sideline. It is the unfavoured side for a right foot kicker. Smack bang on the sideline. Nico Hines to send us to golden point, or the Sharks to lose by 2. Pressure situation. 100% so far tonight. He moves in for golden point. He's missed it. He's missed it. That wouldn't have gone over if there were 10 goalposts side by side. And once again, you hate to single out the guy, but another pressure scenario, another failure for Nico Hines. He is racking up a history. The poor guy is racking up a history of failures in pressure situations. And the Dolphins, they better go out and buy the hammer an absolute shit ton of beers. Because he deserves each and every one of them. If the hammer does not single-handedly beat 7 Sharks defenders and run the length of the field to score, the Dolphins do not win that game. So I hope the rest of the team are shouting him a lot of beers tonight. $30 points to 28. The Sharks, once again, are very capable of scoring points, but not able to defend them. This is the, This is probably the 3rd or 4th game out of the last 5 where they have leaked 30 or more points. It's not good for a top 4 team. Defunk says, and just like in nature, the Dolphin beats the Sharks. Rod says, I love Hines when he is in fire, but he needs to produce under pressure. Exactly right, Hines. I'm a supporter of the Sharks, so obviously it sucks that... Whoa, wow, okay. I had no idea how short Cameron McInnes is. I honestly had no idea that Cameron McInnes was that tiny. Seeing him standing next to Jonathan Thurston, you realise how small Cameron McInnes is. Unless JT is doing the Tom Cruise and he's standing on a box. Anyway, full time here. 30 points to 28. Don't forget, coming up. Well, obviously, we've got a game tomorrow. We've got the Rabbitohs and the Broncos coming up tomorrow. Meanwhile, there's the Hammer who up above everybody. Where's my drink gone? There it is. The Dolphins proving themselves to be the real deal this year, although I don't think anyone's really too surprised by that. I had them in my 8, I'm pretty sure. I certainly didn't have them in the 4. I definitely didn't have them as a top 4 side, but the way they're going, even with the injuries this year, that's the thing that I like about the Dolphins this year is they've got the cover in place for the injuries. They didn't have that last year. They would have made the finals last year, except so many players fell over injured. This year, they've actually got the reinforcements. They've got the troops to cover the injuries. They've still got players to come back in. They are definitely going to be a force. I don't think they're a premiership threat, in all honesty, but they'll certainly be there at finals time. I mean, they are knocking. They're knocking on the door of the top 4, for sure. Mel says, cheers, Dan. Way past my bedtime. Almost midnight. Till next time. Yes, cheers, Mel. Thanks for swinging by. Well, not swinging by. You were here for basically the whole thing. Matt Westgate. Ahoy there, mate. What have I missed? Oh, it's your bedtime too, huh? Cheers, Matt. Robert M says Flegler won't be back. I don't think. It seems that way, doesn't it? Flegler could be done for the season. Defunk says if Hammer keeps pumping out hat tricks, they could take it all. Certainly not out of the realms of possibility. Defunk, I suppose, but against teams like the Storm and the Panthers, and they're going to need more than the Hammer. You can get away with it against teams like the Sharks, but Panthers, Roosters, Storm, they're going to need more than the Hammer. Can we keep chatting, Dan? I've got a number of talking points I would like to address. Okay, well, I really quite badly need to pee, so why don't I go and do that? And then you can load up some questions for me, and we'll have a chat when I come back. I'm happy to stay around for a little bit. Here on the Wasted World of Sports. Fire up your questions, your talking points in the chat room. More than happy to stick around. And after the stream, I've got to figure out why my stream deck's not working tonight. All right. Wasted World of Sports back. Let's see what DJ Shaq has got going on for us. In the chat room. 30 points to 28 here for those who may have missed it. The Dolphins getting the job done over the Sharks here tonight. And it all came down to the very last moment of the game. Literally the last moment of the game. The conversion attempt from Nico Hines from the sideline. It was on his unfavored side. But still, it didn't even come close. See, what I would have liked to have seen, honestly, what I would have liked to have seen is for that kick to at least get close. Nico's attempt wasn't even close. It would, as I said at the time, it wouldn't have even gone over if there were 10 goalposts side by side. So it was a really disappointing effort. All right, DJ Shaq says, Dan, Gold Coast have signed Wallaby and Melbourne Rebel Carter Gordon on a 2-year deal. Yes. You want to know my opinion on that? I'm gathering. And I don't know. I also don't know why. Hang on, let me go back to this screen because now the question is actually fully on the screen. So yeah, it's a good signing. I think it's a great signing. I mean, look, the reality of the situation is whenever a team is dropped out of something, and forget about league versus union, I don't even understand, honestly, why it's a debate. They're different games. They're different sports. And if you just ignore that fact for a second, the whole league versus union war, and just look at it from the perspective of there's a team being cut, players need places to go, there's only so many spots, I think it's a really good pickup, and it's possibly even something that's been on his mind. I mean, there is such a thing. I am living proof that there is such a thing, and I know that I'm not the only one. I'm just saying, for example's sake, I'm living proof that it is possible to like both. You can enjoy both. I really don't understand the hatred, apart from looking at it from a business perspective, but the hatred between, well, honestly, it seems to be only one way. It seems to be the hatred from rugby league towards rugby union. Rugby union doesn't seem to have the hatred towards rugby league here in this country. It only seems to go one way. But anyway, so that's a whole other topic, isn't it, I suppose? But yeah, I think it's a really good pickup. DJ Shaq says Gordon was a great runner and defender, but not a great kick, both in general play and as a goal kicker. Well, I mean, that's the thing. He doesn't need to be, does he, coming to rugby league? I actually think that his lack of a kicking game would have held him back a lot more in rugby union than in rugby league, because, okay, let's say whether he plays 6 or 7, he'll be playing in the halves somewhere, I'm assuming. Maybe not, though. Who knows? But he's going to have support. Like, there's other players. If you're playing 6, your 7 can take on some of the kicking responsibility. If you're playing 7, your 6 can take on some of the kicking responsibility. Goal kickers can be from anywhere on the field. I mean, look, for the Dolphins, Jermaine Asako, the winger, kicks the goals. So I don't think he needs a kicking game necessarily to come to rugby league. You can kick out a dummy half. So I don't think it's going to bother him as much as, whereas, excuse me, whereas a fly half in rugby, you kind of need to develop a kicking game. It's kind of mandatory. So I actually think it's a good call, and it might be something that he has considered. He might actually be one of those people that enjoys both games and goes, you know what, I would like to have a crack at some point. Oh, look, my team's getting dumped out of the competition. Maybe now's my chance to have a crack. Who knows? But I think it's a really good signing. Defunk says, yes, it is one-sided. Yeah, honestly, I've got so many Kiwi mates. They enjoy watching the Warriors, and they love their rugby, but they enjoy watching the Warriors. Or they've grown up playing rugby league and they love the Warriors, but they've still got appreciation for rugby union. It only seems to be in Australia where it's just, no, you can't like both. It's not allowed. You're not allowed to like both. I don't know. I don't understand it myself. I mean, I enjoy both. And if you don't, then that's fine as well. Like, if you legitimately do not enjoy one or the other codes, they're completely different. So, understandably, they appeal to different people. But it's the hatred just because it's a different code that I don't understand. I hope that made sense. That's the point I was trying to make. It's okay to like both. It's okay to not like both as well. But if you just dislike it because it's not the code that I like, that's what I'm trying to say. DJ Shaq says it's going to be great because the Titans have got a hooker, Chris Randall, currently playing 5/8. Well, there you go. See, they needed somebody. Yeah, I think it's a really good pickup. And honestly, in Union, where was he going to go? I mean, let's face it, how can I say this nicely? I'm trying to think. There's no guarantees, right? I mean, I could be wrong. Look, I haven't watched a lot of Super Rugby this season. I'll be doing the Super Rugby semi-finals this weekend. But Carter Gordon, obviously, he's not going to be part of it. Was there really any guarantee? I mean, he was kind of plucked out of obscurity in a way, in a sense, was he not? To be the starting number 10 for the Wallabies. So I'm looking at it and going, there's not even any guarantee that he really would have been the number 10 moving forward for the Wallabies anyway, necessarily. So I think he's probably made the right call in some respect. If it's something that he wants to do, and he obviously does, then yeah, by all means. The Waratahs. Waratahs was his most likely landing point, but they already had Tane Edmund and the rookie Jack Bowen and Swalihi pretty much ate into their cap space. There you go, Defunk. Defunk likes both, but think League is much more exciting. League is definitely more fast-paced. I'll say that. There's no secret in that. Here's the thing. I can say this. I can say this because I have played both. And I don't say that as if that's some sort of like, oh, you're so special, you've played both. I've not played any of them professionally. I'm just saying I have played both sports. And the fitness is what killed me in rugby league. The constant up and back. Like when you're defending, you run up on defense, then you've got to retreat your 10 meters, and you're up again for the next play, and you're retreating back. And it was that constant back and forth. That fitness did me in. But in rugby union, you had to have a little bit more. It was more of a game of chess. There's a lot more strategy in union. It's not just 4 up the middle and then spread it wide and then kick on the 5th. There's a lot more strategy involved in breaking apart defensive patterns, and you've got to be a lot stronger. Yeah. I mean, I enjoy them both for their unique skills. Even though there's similarities, they're both extremely different, and I appreciate both of them for what they are. Rod says Union will die off because it's well, okay, let's be a little bit more specific about that, Rod. Union will potentially die off in Australia. Rugby union is in exceedingly good health everywhere else in the world. But yes, union will eventually die off in Australia. I probably agree with that. But it's doing just fine everywhere else in the world. And yeah, rugby union does need to be made available in public schools. It's very privatized in Australia. We didn't have rugby union at my school. It was rugby league or not. I actually played baseball myself. I had the choice, rugby league or baseball. I chose baseball. But to play rugby union, I actually had to join a club. Outside of school hours, it wasn't available. DJ Shaq says Swally, his mega deal cost the Waratahs a lot of depth. Parisi, Holloway, Harrison, Marky Mark. He's coming to rugby league, right? Marky Mark over to the Roosters. Where's he going to play? Marky Mark, winger for the Wallabies, yeah, and I think he might have played fullback once or twice. Where's Marky Mark going to fit in at this Roosters squad? Where are they going to play him? They've got Dom Young. I guess, what's his face? The other one. The other one. Not Dom Young, the other, Tupou. Tupou, isn't it? Maybe Tupou is potentially nearing the end of his career. So maybe they're looking at Marky Mark a bit more long-term than Daniel Tupou. There we go, DJ Shaq. Like two peas in a pod. Dan and DJ Shaq on the same wavelength there with that one. DJ Shaq also says, if I could play union at high school, I would have, but like Dan, joined a club. There you go. It just wasn't available. I'm not sure if it is now. I had actually heard that, where I went to school, there was a lot of Samoans. And it was funny. And again, I don't say this. Honestly, I'm not saying this to talk myself up. But I was the only... You've got to be so careful about what you say these days. Let me just say, I was the only white boy in high school that could keep up with them in terms of strength and to actually play rugby. And they respected me for that. I became very good friends with the Samoan circle when I was at school, because they sort of had they had the little Samoan clique, and they'd all get together and they'd play rugby, and I loved my rugby, so I always wanted to go play too. And they were a bit standoffish at first, and yeah, then I came in and I showed that I could handle it, and like they would belt the absolute bollocks off you. But yeah, it was great. I could go with them, and yeah, eventually I'd come wandering over at lunchtime to play, and I was accepted. I was accepted into the group. But there was nothing official from my school for rugby union. It was all rugby league and touch footy for the girls. Sing out at any point, DJ Shaq, if you want me to eliminate these these people from the chat room. Seems like they're targeting you for some reason. Oh, actually, you can do it yourself. You're a moderator. Yes, what was your next point going to be? Super Rugby semis. Yes, indeed. Right here on the Wasted World of Sports Super Rugby semi-finals. I will be covering both of them live. See, I get very excited about the rugby, but at finals time. So tomorrow we'll be doing the Super Rugby semi-final, and then I'll be back for the NRL Rabbitohs versus Broncos. I should check the Wasted World of Sports tipping contest, actually. Let's see if old Rod Eels or Bryce went for the Dolphins there in that one. Oh, it looks like I'm safe up the top. Wow. Okay, Wasted World of Sports tipping contest. There were only 6 people. 6 people in the whole competition that went for the Dolphins tonight. James, J-Joe, Liam Farton, UFC, Dustin Fury, Mildura, the only 6 who went for the Dolphins tonight. DJ Shaq, of course, tipped the Sharks, but was still cheering for the Dolphins. All right. DJ Shaq says, I've tipped the Hurricanes and Blues. My family was laughing at me. I'm the only one who tipped the Hurricanes. They're supremely confident the Chiefs are going to cause the upset. Well, is it an upset? I haven't. I asked that question honestly, DJ Shaq, because I haven't been following. But isn't an upset? I thought the Chiefs finished on top. No, the Hurricanes finished on top. There you go. Chiefs finished in 4th. Okay. Well, there you go then. I would probably tip the Hurricanes too then. Hurricanes and Blues, 1 and 2, probably deserve to be the final. I'm still coming to terms with the fact that the Crusaders didn't make the finals, in all honesty. I can't fathom Super Rugby without the Crusaders in the finals. It just blows my mind. The Crusaders not in the finals. I'm just really struggling with that. And of course, we've got the Rugby Championship coming up. I'll be covering all of those games as well. I don't even care. Hey, once the All Blacks come out to play, that's it. Rugby league is dead to me. If the All Blacks are playing bloody Namibia, I'm covering that game over anything else. So but yes, it should be fun tomorrow. Blues are back to full strength. Finlay Christie, Rico Ioane, and Stephen Perofeta. Perofeta Cheese. I've already got my nickname for him lined up. Excellent. Perofeta Cheese. DJ Shaq says, like the game tonight, I really hope the Brumbies can cause the upset, so there could be at least some Aussie representation in the final. No, DJ Shaq. Not the Brumbies. Ah, well, it could be worse, I suppose. It could be the Waratahs. It's funny, I've told this story multiple times on the streams, but for the benefit of those of you who are new, it's hilarious because in the NRL, I go for New South Wales over Queensland in the state of origin. But in the rugby union, I go for the Queensland Reds as my Australian team. But outside of that, I hope all the Australian teams lose to the Kiwi teams. Jack Ormerod is giving us the definition of diarrhea. It's the condition of having at least 3 loose, liquid, or watery bowel movements in a day. Really? So if you have just one, it's not considered diarrhea. Interesting. It's specifically 3. DJ Shack says New Zealand is playing England. Asher Watson, who wins tomorrow in the NRL? I've gone for the Cowboys to beat the Raiders because the Raiders are going to drop off. The Raiders are going to drop out of the 8 and they'll be finishing bottom 4 for sure. Cowboys are a little unpredictable at the moment, but yeah. And I've got the Rabbitohs to beat the Broncos. I think the Bunnies are going to go on a little bit of a run, in all honesty. Bunnies are going to go on a little bit of a run here. DJ Shack, I really want the All Blacks to select Samipeni Finau. Reminds me of Lenu's abrasiveness. He's been tearing it up for the Chiefs. I know the name, DJ Shack. So the fact that I haven't really been following that closely with Super Rugby throughout the pre-finals play, throughout the, what would you call it, throughout the general season. But the fact that I've heard his name probably speaks volumes. I definitely know that name. Samipeni Finau. I'm probably saying it incorrectly. The first part, anyway. But it should be fun. I'm looking forward to covering some rugby union again. I was actually going to do the games last weekend, the quarterfinals. But I just felt like... Well, look, I wasn't in great health last weekend, so yeah, I wasn't in the best physical or mental state last weekend, and I just decided against it. And it turns out they were all absolute schmozzlings anyway, weren't they? Like, all the quarterfinals were extremely one-sided. Matt Westgate says, "Did you know that snakes can be deadly?" Yes, I learnt that at a very young age. I was taught to never trust a snake by Jake the Snake Roberts. Jake the Snake Roberts taught me a very valuable lesson way before the era of Stone Cold Steve Austin. Don't trust anybody. DJ Shack says, "Honestly, Dan, you were doing yourself a favor. The quarters weren't competitive at all." Yep, it certainly looked that way. I was disappointed by the Reds. Really, their effort. I thought they might have put up a little bit more. All right. What do we got? 10 past 10. I think I'm about ready to head off here on the Western World of Sports. Thank you very much for your company here, as always. Don't forget, oh, hang on, we've got one more. have I seen Joe Rogan's podcast with Jake the Snake? It's worth a watch if I haven't seen it. I don't think I have seen that one. That would be pretty cool. I do love the Joe Rogan podcast. All right. Thank you so much, Wasted World of Sports. It's been fun, as always, although my team didn't get up tonight. That happens, though, doesn't it? It happens. You win some, you lose some. On to the next. Coming up tomorrow, we've got the Super Rugby semi-final, and then we've got the Broncos versus the Rabbitohs later in the night. So those are the two games that I'll be covering tomorrow. So I'll see you then. Hope you come back and join me for that. Both of those games, whether you follow the sport or not. Who cares? Come and join me. Why not? Unless you've got something better to do. In which case, feel free. All right. Thank you so much. Catch you later. Yes. Until then. Cheers.
The Wasted World of Sports, eh?
Oh, he's copped a head right to the nuts. Tedesco's butt crack.
Ahoy!
He's nearly taken security's head off.
I have no idea what the Wasted World of Sports is.